Today we're going to talk about Melbourne Beach, Florida for the community analysis presentation. Melbourne Beach was originally run by a Native American tribe called Ice. They lived off the land in the Indian River Lagoon. It has been speculated that Juan Ponce de Leon actually landed very close to Melbourne Beach in 1513, but has not been proven and is not a very accepted speculation. The land did not have much inhabitants until the 19th century when Major Cyrus Graves bought the land for $1.25 an acre. Mr. Graves and other business owners decided to start growing pineapples on the land. The town began getting cleared out and built up when in 1909 an 8-passenger tram and trailer station was built. In order for people to get to Melbourne Beach, Beaujeans Ferry provided the transportation. There are 4 original homes built from the 19th century that are still standing, as well as 1 hotel. The town of Melbourne Beach remained small until the toll bridge opened in the 1920s. As fast as the town began to grow, the Depression hit, causing the expansion to come to a halt for about 20 years. With World War II brought the Banana River Naval Station and the Melbourne Naval Air Station, causing the town to start to wake back up. After the Kennedy Space Center was built in the 1950s, the land beach side became more populated and it began to drift down to Melbourne Beach. Today, the land is not nearly as populated as some of the northern beach towns, but it is growing. Most Melbourne Beach residents prefer the quaintness and the serenity of the small town with a population of just over 3,300.
Melbourne Beach has a population of just over 3,300. There are many single-family homes, condominiums, and structural homes for living. There are only 2 major grocery stores in the actual town. The nearest hospital is in the next town, Melbourne. It is not too far to travel, but inconvenient in the state of an emergency. There are no walk-in clinics or even primary care offices. The nearest are just approximately 5 minutes up the road. The town structurally has the proper amount of living spaces for the community, but do not meet the needs of the community structurally in terms of major structures needed, such as healthcare facilities, stores, and major structures found in most towns. So what is the community saying? The general consensus within the community is that they are happy and do not see any need for additional buildings. The population enjoys the quietness of the town and do not mind driving to the nearest area to find what they are needing. While things such as hospitals, more overall stores such as clothing and supermarkets, and restaurants would be more convenient, it is not what they want.
In Melbourne Beach, the population is primarily retired age. The median age in Melbourne Beach is 49.1 years. That's 7.3 years older than the state of Florida's median age. With the population at an older age, there is going to be more health issues in this area related to generalized aging. While there are no healthcare facilities directly in the town of Melbourne Beach, there are many resources nearby. The town is very small, and a hospital placed directly in the town is not necessary, with other major hospitals and other healthcare facilities nearby. Holmes Regional Medical Center is a Level 2 trauma center, the only Level 2 trauma center in Brevard County. There are a number of walk-in clinics and primary care physician offices in neighboring towns. There are also a number of healthcare facilities such as assisted living facilities, skilled nursing facilities, and rehabilitation centers. Holmes Regional Medical Center is the closest hospital to Melbourne Beach and provides more cardiac procedures than any other hospital in Brevard. Holmes Regional provides state-of-the-art robotic-assisted surgeries in many different categories. It is also the primary stroke center in Brevard. Hospitals provide care to patients regardless of health insurance types or lack of insurance. The skilled nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, and rehabilitation centers are all within the average price range for Florida. The goal of increase the number of older adults who have clinical preventative services objective is to improve the health care of the elderly. Because Melbourne Beach is more of an elderly population, this would seem like an appropriate objective for the community. Because there are no primary care physicians in Melbourne Beach, an important objective and goal would be to increase the number of residents who have a primary care physician. Decreasing the amount of visual impairment in the town
would be a good objective since the community has an older population. Overall, the environment of Melbourne Beach is good. There are many resources such as parks and beaches within the community. The upkeep of the houses is well maintained, and you can tell the residents care about their community. There is an issue with trash on the beaches, but many residents put together beach cleanups. The trash isn't necessarily from the Melbourne Beach residents. Trash comes from many different areas of the world and float ashore. The annual water report states that the city water has passed all regulations in Melbourne Beach. Community officials are fairly accessible because the town is so small. Generally speaking, a Melbourne Beach resident can get their questions answered or usually set up an appointment to reach the person they need within a few hours. The town has a fire department and police officials accessible. The budget is fairly spread out and accounts for most things needed in the town. The town meetings happen monthly and generally have few attendance, but the town officials make it a point to ensure the town's needs are met. Melbourne Beach crime rates are a lot lower than most cities in Florida. The community is generally happy and have low depression rates. This topic was a little difficult for me to decide 6 different community needs, but I found some, and the following are the needs. The first would be hurricane safety. Melbourne Beach is on the east coast and it's on the beach side, obviously, so it's in the direct line of hurricanes. So it's important for the community to remain up to date on their disaster plans and safety plans for hurricanes. The next would be littering. The town of Melbourne Beach has a lot of littering on the beaches, and it is important to keep the community clean. Number 3 would be pedestrian bike safety. The small town of Melbourne Beach travels usually on foot or by bike, and it's important for proper pedestrian safety signs and crosswalks to be implemented. Next would be access to health care. We discussed it earlier that there is no health walk-in clinics or hospitals in Melbourne Beach, and it's important to make sure that all the residents have their primary care physicians in line and have proper health care needs met. Last would be public transportation. It's not really a 100% need, but there is no access to public transportation, which could actually end up helping the elderly community that are not able to drive to get to important doctor's office visits and things like that, such as grocery stores, that maybe they wouldn't have to take taxis or use other community needs. Instead of doing that, they could use the public transportation system. Littering is a global issue that was once a big topic on the news and has since fallen at the wayside. In Melbourne Beach, residents deal with littering by joining together and creating beach cleanup events. The Sea Turtle Preservation Society has a beach cleanup in Melbourne Beach at Coconut Point Park at least once a month. Globally, littering is a huge problem. In 2006, every U.S. citizen created 4.6 pounds of waste per day. It is important that people understand the harm they are doing when they are littering. According to Keep America Beautiful, it was found that 18% of the litter that end up in streams and waterways.